Are there any other votes? Announce the results.
Ayes 79, noes 33.
The bill is passed. Mr. Morelli.
Thank you, sir. Our final committee of the day needs to be called, Ways and Means. Mr. Farrell is in the Speaker's conference room, so members of Ways and Means should move quickly to the Speaker's conference room.
Ways and Means Speaker's Conference Room. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, sir. If I could just give some direction on the next two bills I would like to take up, starting with calendar number 476 on page 33 by Ms. Rosenthal, followed by calendar number 514 on page 36 by Mr. Blake.
Clerk will read.
Assembly 5501C, Calendar 476. Ms. Rosenthal, an act to amend the lien law.
An explanation has been requested.
This bill addresses the issue when employers fail to comply with wage and hour laws, including minimum wage and overtime requirements, and enable employees to have better tools to collect the back wages owed to them.
Mr. McKevitt.
Sir, will the sponsor yield for a few questions, please?
Will the sponsor yield?
Yes.
The sponsor yields.
It appears to me that what you're doing with this bill is there's currently under the statutes something we call mechanics lien. For example, when a contractor is working on a piece of property, does some sort of improvements, feels they are not paid that correct amount, so therefore they put a mechanics lien on the real property because they did some sort of improvements to the property. Is that analogous? What you're trying to do here is using, I guess, the mechanism that we use for mechanics lien and try to incorporate a wage dispute into that type of process?
Yes, this expands the wage lien from construction workers to employees in other industries while incorporating the procedures and protections in the existing statutory scheme.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, on the bill.
On the bill.
Certainly one understands that, again, we have a lien law in place to go and protect what's called mechanics liens when a person's doing work on a real property. Therefore, they should be able to go and use a lien on that property in order to go and collect in case they're not paid for the work. This is an extensive expansion to do it not just for the worker who does it on it, but the way I read it, any type of employee working for a type of business would be able to go and put a lien on the real property. If there's a dispute, certainly there's the regular course of litigation, which is available. If there is not the right amount of minimum wage being paid, there's both federal and state enforcement mechanisms through both federal agencies and state agencies. And it is just my opinion that this is just an expansion and using a mechanism that works well for, again, property matters on a piece of property and work that's done on it. This is just a massive expansion, and it's just not a proper fit. It's not what the law is designed for. So I'll be voting negative and encouraging my colleagues to do the same. Thank you.
Read the last section.
This act shall take effect on the 30th day.
The clerk will record the vote. Ms. Rosenthal to explain her vote.
Okay, I actually meant this to be on the bill, but I'll do this quickly. New York has made tremendous strides in combating wage theft. Some years ago, we passed the historic Wage Theft Prevention Act, which represents some of the strongest worker protection legislation in the nation. Despite that, wage theft continues to be a tremendous problem here, particularly as unscrupulous employers find ever new and unique ways to avoid paying their employees their earned wages. A 2015 report of the SWEAT, Securing Wages Earned Against Theft Coalition, revealed that there were 62 unpaid judgments totaling more than $28 million owed to 284 workers in New York. Missing a paycheck for wealthy individuals is one thing, but for people who make minimum wage, wage theft violations mean that they have to choose between rent and food or or medication. A missed paycheck is something that we cannot let happen, and this bill empowers employees to get at their wages in a more expedited way. Aggrieved employees who can prove to a judge they have a likelihood of prevailing in their wage theft case will have the ability to put a lien on the assets of their employer during the litigation. Often, employers close their business, sell it to relatives, hide behind an LLC, leave the country, leaving the wage theft victim with a court order for their money and no way to collect. So this bill would not create any additional liability, so good employers who pay their employees fairly have nothing to worry about. Workers who are owed millions will have the ability to collect wages they worked for after they win a judgment. I'd like to thank the Speaker, as well as the Chinese staff and workers, Empire Justice Center, Urban Justice Center, Hunger Action Network, Employment Law Unit at Legal Aid, and National Center for Law and Economic Justice, and 50-plus more groups for investing their time and their energy and their intellectual capabilities to produce a report and support me in processing and getting this bill to a vote on the floor. So I vote in the affirmative. Thank you.
Ms. Rosenthal in the affirmative.
Are there any other votes? Announce the results.
Ayes 81, noes 31.
The bill is passed.
Assembly 9406, Calendar 514. Mr. Blake, an act to amend the correction law.
An explanation is requested, Mr. Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill requires Department of Corrections and Community Supervision to provide medical consent forms and mental health treatment information consent forms to all incarcerated individuals when they arrive in prison and each time they're transferred to another prison.
Ms. Corwin,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the sponsor yield?
will you yield, Mr. Blake?
Absolutely.
Sponsor yields.
Thank you very much. Again, this is more of a clarification than anything. I see that the governor had vetoed an amended version of this bill, or a previous version of the bill. And in that veto, he had specified that he wanted to see specific actions taken. For example, review the current form, provide each inmate upon admission with the authorization form, and make sure it's in the medical record, and make sure copies are put in the law libraries. The concern was raised that the timing of this bill coming up didn't allow enough time for those things to happen, and I just wanted to check and make sure that those things are happening.
Absolutely. There are every issue that was raised, we've been able to address. The amendments made to the bill having a requirement to have the department mail a fully executed original consent form, which was one of the items that was raised, making sure that wasn't a copy. Additionally, an amendment to require the department keep the original of the executed medical authorization form in the medical file. That didn't exist in the current process and procedure. Lastly, for an amendment so that a blank authorization form was available in the incarcerated individual's law library. So those specific actions are codified in the changes that were requested from the veto message, and that's the reason why I presented the bill as is.
Okay, great. And just one other question. Is it one form for both mental health and health, or do we have two separate forms?
One form.
I see. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Read the last section.
This act shall take effect on the 120th day.
Clerk will record the vote. Mr. Blake to explain his vote.
Very briefly, thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to take the time to thank the staff that made this bill happen, especially Tanya and others in PNC. The importance of this bill came up because many families were reaching out, not aware of what was happening for their relatives that were incarcerated, especially, Mr. Speaker, in 2010, 20 suicides that we learned about that families didn't have information about. And given, as I've talked about before, our families' trials and tribulations on this issue, it's an important bill and one that we think is going to provide a lot of comfort to families that have been seeking justice for them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. In the affirmative. Are there any other votes? Announce the results.
Ayes 98, noes 0.
The bill is passed. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, sir. Before I go to Ms. Schimmel for an announcement, and I will be going to Ms. Schimmel for an announcement, I want to know if there's any housekeeping or resolutions to take up.
We have both, Mr. Morelli. On a motion by Mr. Abernathy, page 5, calendar 25, bill number 302A, amendments are received and adopted. On behalf of Ms. Glick, bill number 9129, Assembly bill recalled from the Senate. Clerk will read the title of the bill.
An act to amend Chapter 537 of the laws of 2008.
Motion to reconsider the vote by which the bill passed the House. Clerk will record the vote. Clerk will announce the results.
Ayes 136, noes 0.
The bill is before the House. The amendments are received and adopted. Resolutions on one vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Resolutions are adopted. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, sir. If you could now go to Ms. Schimmel, please.
Ms. Schimmel, for an announcement.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, there will be a majority conference in the Speaker's conference room at the close of session. Thank you, sir.
Majority Conference Speakers Conference Room, Mr. Morelli.
Yes, sir. I now move that the Assembly stand adjourned until 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, May 25th. Tomorrow is a session day.
Assembly stands adjourned.